we've come up with a process that starts with seeds, essentially these little pockets of the future that exist in the present but that are marginal and tiny, and we don't know whether they're going to be able to survive into the further future, where we're looking for a good Anthropocene in Southern Africa. The exciting part about the work in collaboration with Centre for Complex Systems in Transition is that it's very creative and encompasses a complexity aspect with it. And we've specifically chosen the groups to be diverse.
When we have a very interesting and good mix of people that are both very good listeners and active listeners, but also a lot of people that are active talkers and active participators. And so it's been a very high energy space to be in.
What became quite clear is that within the group there was such a diversity of views, which was amazing, but also made the whole process quite a lot more complex, and it took a lot longer than maybe we had anticipated.
And we've chosen specifically divergent seeds.
They were all quite challenging, some more challenging than others.
People were also pushed to think about things in a different way that they haven't done. They had to overcome their own values and to engage with something that's bigger than themselves, I think, which was difficult.
It's really about the community and the people that are in the room, because a lot of it is like, what about this? Oh, well, what about that? And feeding off of one another's energy and creativity. And when there's when you are stuck, that often becomes the most pivotal point.
You need to debate, you need to laugh about. And so therefore it was interesting because it created a playful environment.
This idea of trying to engage with the far future also challenges people to actually confront some of their more deeply held assumptions and values, and I think that's quite difficult. But I think is part of what the idea with the conference was also to bring some of these seeds together and actually have the seeds think through or be confronted with not just being a radical small initiative, but think, wow, if this thing became big and people started taking it on, what would it mean? And I think that's quite a learning process and a lot of reflection for people that is also quite personal.
I was invited by the good folks at the CST to bring together ideas of art, imagination, and thinking, actually. I spend much of my time thinking about the relationship between the visual world and knowledge making. The session that I facilitated early in the workshop was designed to bring together some of the best practices in visual thinking and visual studies in combination with a sense of knowledge production and how to understand how we see and understand our world through the things that we make.
What I've learned here has really changed the way I see the world. And I hope that I can portray that in what I make, and then ultimately that can be shown to the rest of the world.
One thing we agree on is that we need a different future. And I think that for me is a great commonality.
By having these stories and narratives of how the world could work with us as human beings dealing with planetary boundaries and social equity issues, if we have good stories about that, we could start making and working towards those futures.
It was a really incredible experience working with everyone these last few days. I think as an artist you often get quite secluded in your own little world or with very like-minded people, so to come into an environment where there are other kinds of thinkers like scientists and everybody else who thinks like that, it's really wonderful to see how the two can come together and create magic.